Hello and welcome to Skimmer Sediment Basin Design for Construction. This is going to be a very short example of how to use the Rymar design tool to size the skimmer for a sediment basin. Our design tool is available on our website to download for free. It's a simple Excel file and it allows you to put in your site information, your date, project name, location, company name, engineer, a basin description, because often you'll have more than one basin on a site. We have two spaces to put up other information. We have a check here at the top to confirm your required dewatering volume based on your acreage and the required volume per acre for your location. And then you simply put in your design information for the specific basin. So in this block, you'll put in your minimum and maximum time to drain. So in this case, we have 2 to 5 days or 48 to 120 hours. Your pond depth, which your pond depth is the depth it takes in your basin to meet your calculated pond volume. Top length and width, bottom length and width. And again, there's not very many basins that are square or rectangular, so adjust these numbers per your engineering judgment to reach a calculated pond volume that we try to recommend within 5% of your required dewatering volume. Once you have this information in place, if you'll scroll down to the bottom of the page, there's a skimmer report tab. Skimmer report tab will take you to a nice neat 8.5 by 11 sheet that you can use in your SWIP or on your plans. It has all of your information you inputted. It has the check at top to confirm your calculated pond volume that you're basing the skimmer on is close to your required volume, which is here. It also shows your minimum flow rate for your maximum time, your maximum flow rate for your minimum time. And then because it is our tool, we give the drawdown time for each one of our skimmers with each orifice configuration. And then based on the time frame that you've selected in the tool, we'll tell you which skimmers meet that time frame. We generally recommend to shoot for a roughly 72-hour time frame. So in this case, I would probably recommend the 4-inch with a 3.5-inch orifice at a 68-hour time frame. However, if you want to go to a less expensive skimmer, you can drop down to our 3-inch. It's going to take you a little over 4 days to drain that one. Or if you want to get it out as fast as possible, you can go up to our 6-inch skimmer, which takes it just over 48-hour minimum time. We also have on our webpage sediment basin details. So there's 4 different versions. This version is a temporary basin without a riser structure, just a pipe through the dam and the skimmer. This would be a dry basin. We have a version on there for a wet basin. We also have versions with the riser structure in place that would show more of a permanent situation. And in this case, it's a wet basin. We also have these for dry. All of the details have a basin design criteria that you can adjust to your specific locations, which will include sediment storage volume if required. That would be more of a permanent pool situation. Dewatering volume, that's going to be for pretty much every location is going to have a dewatering volume required. Surface area required. And here's where you set your time frame for your dewatering, so that when it gets reviewed, you're reviewing a range of time frame, not a set time frame. And then here's where you have your data block for your specific basins. So you can have your sediment storage volume, make sure your provided meets your required, your dewatering volume. Often your provided is going to be greater than your required, especially if this is a multi-purpose basin that will be turned into a permanent detention pond. And then here's where you put your basin information in. So your basin number, drainage area, disturbed area, flow rate, surface area, bottom of the basin, outlet invert, pipe barrel, top of your riser if you have one, emergency spillway elevation and width. And then here's the key: your skimmer size, your skimmer orifice diameter, the skimmer type, because we've talked about earlier that different skimmers flow at different rates, is an equal allowed, yes or no. And then very important here to put in your flow rate, put in your minimum and maximum that you want for this basin. That way, if the contractor does want to use a different skimmer, as long as it meets that flow rate requirement, it should be approved with a simple shop drawing. Then also on our website, we have the details for our skimmers. Every skimmer has a block at the top that gives the flow rate based on testing for each skimmer with each orifice configuration. Each of our skimmers have an orifice plate that goes in across the orifice here, and it simply changes the orifice size rather than cutting a disc to a tenth of an inch or so. We have standard sizes for each skimmer and make it very simple for the contractor to get those correct. Like I said, this is a blow up of the skimmer flow rate on each one. So real quick here before we end, I'm going to do a little quick example with our actual design tool. So like I said, this is our Excel design tool, and so let's simply fill it in and show you how simple this is. So date, today's the 16th of November. Project name, let's call this a Rymar test. Location, let's assume it's in Charlotte, North Carolina. Company, best engineer in North Carolina. And engineer is Joe Engineer. So our basin description, let's just call this Sediment Basin, oops, misspelled. Sediment Basin 1. North Carolina is 1,800 cubic feet per acre. And let's assume our site has, let's call it 7.5 acres drain into the basin. So there we have a 13,500 cubic foot volume is what we want to base the skimmer on. North Carolina is 2 to 5 days. That's already set. We would probably have a basin design on our plan that we'd pull some information from. Let's just kind of do some quick estimating. Let's say we want a pond depth of no more than 4 feet. And let's kind of see what kind of length and width we would have. So if we had a pond depth of 4 feet, typically we want at least a 2 to 1, maybe a 4 to 1 ratio of length to width. So let's start off at looking like a 200 foot by 50 foot. And then if we had, let's assume 2 to 1 side slopes and a 4 foot depth. So top length is going to be just a little bit less. Let's cut it down to like 180. And bottom width is going to be a little less as well. Let's cut it down to like 34. All right. The calculated pond volume is actually much greater. So it's 32,000 over 13.5. So I made it a little too big. So let's adjust that. Let's cut our pond depth down to 3 feet. That gets us a little bit closer. Drop it down to say 150 by 50. And that then would drop our other down to maybe 120. Still a little big, a little trial and error here. So let's go to 120 feet and 100. Look at there. All right, now we're at 13,940 compared to 13.5. I think that's probably close enough when we're trying to hit a 3-day range of time. So that's it. So this is our calculation sheet. So it's going to calculate the flow for all of our skimmer in every orifice configuration. You can look into that in more detail if you'd like. But you go here to the bottom of the page, skimmer report tab, and it'll take you over. And this is your nice, neat 8.5 by 11. We've got our required dewatering volume, calculated pond volume slightly more. We've got our minimum and maximum time here. Then if we look at our results, for this site, we could go as small as a 2-inch skimmer. Actually, that'd be a good one actually. They're a 2-inch skimmer with a 2-inch orifice, drains in 69 hours. So that's right around that 72 range. So you can use a small skimmer on a 7.5 acre site in North Carolina to drain that one out. Or if you want, you can have these other choices here. So pretty simple tool to use. Again, we've checked our volume based on our required volume per acre and the acreage flowing to it. So hopefully that was beneficial for you. Just like I said, just a short tool to show the basics of how to use our design tool, or short video to show the basics of using our design tool. And if you would like continuation credit for this, it's only about a 10-minute video, so you're only going to get a small amount of credit. But if you would like it, email us at info@rymarwaterworks.com. Let us know you watched it. We'll send you a short quiz, make sure you did, and give you that PDA certificate. Or look for the entire series and look at the entire series and get entire credit for watching all of them. Thank you for watching, and please look for more videos coming soon.